What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, it's been a while, it's been a minute since we've talked about new cards in here on the channel. So we have some new cards for you guys today, coming out of the next side of the next deck build set, known as Wild Survivors. But what is that archetype? Well, obviously, last time we talked about the brand new Transcend Drake archetype. Now we're going to be talking about the Nouvellez archetype. But what is Nouvellez? Well, for those who do not know, so YG organization has quite a few notes on here, saying quote, please be gentle with us. We think it's a demonology theme that ours Goetia, because of course, combined with high-grade French cuisine, names can and will be shuffled around. Nouvelle cuisine is an approach to cooking and food presentation in French cuisine, in contrast to cuisine classique, an older form of haute cuisine. Nouvelle cuisine is characterized by lighter, more delicate dishes and an increased emphasis on presentation. It's that way too little food on a plate that looks nice for photographs food, method you've definitely seen in cooking. The Z is apparently ales, which together with Nouvelle means the new way forward. There's also another note that says the theme also appears to be a full course meal. Excuse me. So yeah, basically it's food. And an archetype based on food. I mean it's not like we've never had that before. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we have. Yes, we have. Hungry Burger. Hungry Burger was what we got. And now we have an archetype based on food. So hopefully you guys are ready for this full course meal, I guess you could say. If you guys are, and you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, which gets posted on Tuesdays and sometimes on Wednesdays and weekends, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And the reason why I always ask you guys to subscribe is because we are right now 53 subs away from 200. Right now. And as I said, if we do reach 200 subscribers, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neos box in its entirety on the channel. And it's kind of hard to see under this lighting, but under the right light, there it is. It's taped. It's taped all around. Top. See? It's taped on the top. Taped on the bottom. So, if we reach 200 subscribers, I will open this up in its entirety on the channel. But if the channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up my first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to pull a collector's rare. Which this was actually the first set in the TCG that actually gave us collector's rare. So 3 years in the making, guys. 3 years in the making. So if you guys want to see both of these boxes get opened, please subscribe to the channel, guys. You don't want to miss it. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we might pull the forbidden card. Maybe we might pull a collector's rare. Maybe we might pull two. Who the hell knows? All I know is that we're gonna probably get some fire pulls, guys. So again, guys, if you guys want, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, subscribe, guys, because those are gonna be some insane openings here on the channel. But let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we have, I'm probably gonna butcher these names because I don't speak French. So shout outs to everybody in France who watches my videos. Shout outs to you guys. I apologize if I butcher these names, but we have first up Barilla Bice de Nouvellez. I am butchering these names, so I humbly apologize. But it's a 1-star Dark Beast Warrior ritual with 400 attack and 1850 defense, and it says you can ritual summon this card with any recipe card. You can only use the first. So, alright, both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if this card is special summon, excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add 1 excavated Nouvellez card to your hand and shuffle the rest back into the deck. So it's essentially a pot. It's essentially a pot of duality, but instead of excavating 3, you're excavating 5. So that's actually not too bad. The second effect reads: when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, or when this card is targeted for an attack as a quick effect, tribute this card and 1 other attack position monster on either field, and if you do, special summon a level 2 or level 3 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand or deck. So this is actually kind of cool, because this is basically similar to this is sort of like similar to what's that one archetype? Necros. It's kind of similar to the Necros archetype, where you can just tag out one ritual monster for another. That's actually pretty cool. Which is actually pretty cool. And the best part, again, it's a pot of duality. So you could end up searching out for pretty much any recipe card, which could be a hamburger recipe or whatever, and you could just summon out Hungry Burger right off the bat. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. There's a note underneath that says Bouillabaisse is a traditional Provençal fish stew originating in the port city of Marseille. The French and English form Bouillabaisse comes from the Provençal Ascending octane word Bouillabaisse, a compound that consists of 2 verbs, bouillir and abaiser. Boer is a lion-headed demon with 5 hooved feet in a wheel pattern, who is a master of philosophy and herbs and medical plants. Okay, that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Confitras de Nouvellez, which is a 2-star Dark Warrior ritual, 800 attack, 1850 defense. Can be summoned using any recipe card. Both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if this card is special summon, you can target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy it. It's an MST, so there's not much else to say about that. Excuse me. The second effect reads: when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, or when this card is targeted for an attack as a quick effect, tribute both this card and 1 other attack position monster on either field, and special summon a level 3 or 4 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand or deck. So that's actually pretty cool. I believe each of these has their own interesting second effect. So let's see here. Let's see here. Bouillabaisse lets you summon a level 2 or a level 3. Confit lets you summon a level 3 or a level 4. And this next one that I'm going to talk about, which is called Politis de Nouvelles, which is a 3-star Dark Beast Warrior ritual, 1200 attack, 1850 defense. Its second effect lets you summon a level 4 or level 5 from your hand from the hand or deck. Yeah, so they basically let you summon and I think the last one, this other one, Foy Glacia de Nouvellez, 4-star Dark Warrior ritual, 1600 attack, 1850 defense, level 5 or level 6. So that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. So underneath confit, there's a note that says confit is any type of food that is cooked slowly or is cooked slowly over a long period as a method of preservation. Confit is a cooking term described when food is cooked in grease, oil, or sugar water at a lower temperature as opposed to deep frying. Sounds about right. That sounds about right. Forez is one of the demon lords of the Ars Goetia. That's pretty cool. Next up, we have Politis de Nouvelles again, as I mentioned, which is a 3-star Dark Beast Warrior ritual, 1200 attack, 1850 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn, and it can be summoned using any recipe card. If this card is special summoned, you can draw 1 card. It's a +1, so you can't really go wrong with that. But the second effect, as I mentioned, when a card or effect is activated that targets a monster on board, or when a monster is targeted for an attack, you contribute both 1 Nouvelles monster you control and 1 attack versus monster on either field. Special summon a level 4 or 5 Nouvelles ritual from the hand or deck, which is pretty cool. Poel is French for pan-fried foods. Botis is a demon lord with 2 horns and associated with snakes. Damn. Next up we have, moving on guys. Next up we have Foy Glacia de Nouvelles, which is a 4-star Dark Warrior ritual, 1600 attack, 1850 defense. Again, it's the exact same thing. Any recipe card. Both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if this card is special summoned, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyards. Shuffle them into the deck. So you're basically going to be targeting your own cards. You're basically going to be targeting your own cards. That way you can resummon your ritual monsters right off the bat, which is pretty nuts. However, the second effect, basically, again, it's the same thing as the previous ones, but with this one, you get to summon a level 5 or a level 6 Nouvelles ritual monster from the hand or the deck, which is pretty cool. There's a note underneath that says, Foie Gras is a specialty food product made for the liver of a duck or goose. According to French law, foie gras is defined as the liver of a duck or goose fattened by gavage. Foie gras is a popular and well-known delicacy in food cuisine. Glacia Labolas is a demon from the Ars Goetia who specializes in okay, that part I'm not gonna say because of the algorithm, because of YouTube's algorithm. I'll just say destruction. I'll say destruction to make it more PG. You'll have to think about that for a bit, guys. But destruction and manipulation, that's pretty nasty. So to summarize what the first four ritual monsters do, to summarize what they do, Brillibize lets you Pot of Duality any card from the top of your deck, which is up to 5 cards, which is 5 cards, which is amazing, and you get to add one of them to your hand. The second effect, whenever an effect is activated that targets itself, or when this card is targeted for an attack, you get to tribute this card and one other monster on either field, and summon a level 2 or level 3 Nouvellez ritual monster from the hand or deck. Confit is basically an MST with the same second effect as the previous monster, but it lets you summon a level 3 or a level 4, which is pretty cool. Poeltes lets you draw one card upon it being summoned, and you get to tribute one Nouvellez ritual monster you control and one other monster on either field, and summon a level 4 or a level 5. Foy Glacia lets you basically gives you sort of like a mini Pot of Avarice, but you don't draw, unfortunately. And also the second effect, again, whenever a card or effect that targets a monster on the field, or when a monster is targeted for an attack, you're able to tribute a Nouvellez monster you have on board, plus another monster on the board, and summon a level 5 or a level 6, which is pretty insane. Pretty insane. But we do have how many others? 1, 2. We have 2 other ritual monsters to talk about in this video, guys. Think about that. So that's what? How many ritual monsters is that altogether? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ritual monsters to talk about altogether. Think about that, guys. That is insane. So the 5th ritual monster is known as Balamunir de Nouvellez, which is a 5-star Dark Beast Warrior ritual with 2000 attack, 1850 defense, and it says that you can ritual summon this card with any recipe card. You can only use and both of its effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads, if this card is special summon, you can add one Nouvellez or recipe card from your deck to your hand. So it's essentially Rhoda slash I want to say Stratos. Yeah, so it's basically Stratos, Spell Trap, Rhoda rolled into one singular effect, which is pretty good. And you guys know, anytime you get a card that has a Spell Trap Rhoda effect slash Stratos effect, you know damn well that card is gonna be broken. This might just be it, because the second effect reads, you can target one opponent's attack position monster, tribute it, and special summon a level 6 Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand or deck. Which is a quick effect if this card was special summoned by a Nouvellez monster effect. And if you look up, and if you go back up to Foy Glacia, it says summon a level 5 or level 6. And Balamunir is a 5. So it's going to be a quick effect, which is pretty crazy. Which is going to be pretty insane. The only downside, though, is that with, I believe, with the four previous 4 ritual monsters that I talked about, they have what's called a when effect, meaning it's going to miss timing. So you might not be able to get a chance to summon this card at all, because your opponent may end up activating a card like say Ghost Ogre, and Ghost Ogre would just negate it all together. So you would need to have a way. You would need to have a way to out a card like Ghost Ogre, and I think one of the best cards to out it, besides Call By, definitely has to be Mind Drain, which I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, wait, Mind Drain, what does that do? Well, you guys are obviously familiar with Skill Drain and Soul Drain. Mind Drain is basically the same thing as those two, but it's different. Skill Drain targets let's see. Skill Drain stops monsters on the board from being activated. Soul Drain stops monsters in the graveyard from being triggered. So it's sort of like a Necro Valley of sorts. Mind Drain is focuses on effects in the hand. So hand traps like Karibo, which was the first ever hand trap made in history. Cards such as the Ghost Sisters, Ash Blossom, Ghost Belle, Ghost Ogre, you know those cards. Effect Valor, Drone Lockbird, Nibiru, those cards out of the question. So you're definitely with a deck like this, you're definitely gonna want to use you're definitely gonna want to use Mind Drain, because by using Mind Drain, you'll be able to actually get the Wen effect off and be able to summon Balamanure to your board, which is pretty insane. Which again would also let you go into the next card that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. So again, Mind Drain. Watch out for that one card, guys, because Mind Drain is going to be very powerful with this deck. So with that being said, there's a note underneath that says Millionaire is both a French sauce and a method of preparation primarily for fish, consisting of brown, butter, chopped parsley, and lemon. The name suggests a simple rustic nature, i.e. that to cook something a la millionaire. Again, I apologize, I don't speak French, unfortunately. Was originally to cook it by first dredging it in flour. Balam is a demon associated with bears and hawks. Oh fuck. Ooh, demonology. You gotta love it, right guys? You gotta fucking love it. And now for the last ritual monster that's in this archetype, at least until we get more support for them, which I'm pretty sure we will within the next month or so after this set gets released in the TCG. But the next the next one up, we have Griller Nouvellez, which is a 6-star Dark Warrior ritual with 2400 attack, 1850 defense, and it says you can ritual summon this card with any recipe card. You can only use. Okay, so both of its effects are once per turn. Excuse me. And the first effect reads: if this card is special summoned, you can negate the effects of as many face-up cards your opponent currently controls as possible until the end of the turn. Then, if it was special summoned by a Nouvellez monster's effect, tribute all monsters they control. Yeah, Dark Ruler No More, anybody? It's essentially a Dark Ruler No More, but it's also as well sort of like a Raigeki of sorts. Yeah. That's quite the effect, you guys, quite the effect. You're basically breaking their board in an instant. So this is essentially the boss monster of the whole deck. But when I looked at the second effect, there was 2 words that came up. And you're not gonna believe this. I don't know. I'm not sure if any other Yu-Gi-Tuber has ever talked about these cards. But if I'm the first one, then you guys are gonna this will blow your minds. The second effect, which is a quick effect, reads: you can target one opponent's attack position monster. Tribute it. And if you do, special summon Hungry Burger from your hand or deck. Yeah. So now the question becomes: is Hungry Burger gonna be the new meta? You bet your fucking ass is gonna be. You bet your fucking ass it is going to be the new meta. Will it break Kashtira? Who the fuck knows? No one knows. But I can tell you one thing right now: Hungry Burger, it's coming back. It's coming back, which is hilarious. There's a note underneath that says griller is grilled food. We already knew that. And there's another thing underneath that says, we think this is Baal/Baal for the demon. Okay, that's cool. Alright, you guys, now we move on into the spells and traps. So first up we have Nouvellez, Auberge, a table, which is obviously their field spell, and it says that you can only activate this card per turn. You can only activate this card once per turn. And it has 3 separate effects. The first effect reads: when this card resolves. Again, when effect, it's going to miss timing. You got to be careful with that, you guys. You can add 1 recipe card from your deck or grave to your hand. So again, it's basically spell and trap Rhoda from the deck or the graveyard. So cards like Ash Blossom is going to be a massive factor going into your match, bringing this deck. So you got to make sure that you have Mind Drain on board, because if you have Mind Drain, you're good to go. You are good to go. You can even also as well use Metaverse as well as a way to not only activate this card, but when your opponent activates Ash Blossom to try and negate the search, boom, that's when you hit them with the Mind Drain, and Ash Blossom gets negated altogether, which is pretty nasty. So definitely Mind Drain is going to be a massive factor with this deck. The second effect reads: once per turn, you can place 1 ritual monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck, draw 1 card. Okay, so this is essentially a 1-for-1. So this is basically a way to unbreak your hand and basically find a way to draw out some of the more problematic cards that you may have to go up against your opponent, which could be again Mind Drain, could be a hand trap, could be whatever. That's pretty nasty. The third effect reads: during your end phase, you can target 2 cards in your grave, including at least 1 recipe card. Place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, then draw 1 card. Okay, so basically both these effects, it's essentially a pot of greed. You're basically gaining card advantage over your opponent, and as long as you're able to draw out your hand traps, you're pretty much just good to go. That's pretty nasty. That's pretty cool. There's a note underneath that says, Auberge is a term for an inn or a small hotel. A table means dinner's ready. Okay. There's another thing underneath that says could also be Konami going top table. That's funny. That's actually pretty funny. Next up we have Recette de Poisson Fish Recipe, which is obviously the ritual spell. So there are two ritual spells. 2 ritual spells in this one. First up we have Recette de Poisson. fish recipe, and then the other one is recette de viande meat recipe. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. This card can be used to ritual summon any Nouvellez ritual monster. Ritual summon one Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Then if you ritual summon Nouvellez Barilla Baise, with this effect, you can add one recipe ritual spell from your deck or grave to your hand, except this card. Poisson is French for fish. That's what it says. That's the fish recipe. The meat recipe says the exact same thing, but the last part of the sentence reads, if you ritual summoned Confitras de Nouvelles with this effect, you can change all opponent's defense monsters to face-up attack. So if your opponent's if your opponent's monsters attack are 0, you can just attack over them for game. That's all it is. That's actually pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. Viande is French for meat. There's a note underneath that says that, so we already knew that. Next up we have Recette de Personnel Cook's Recipe, which is a continuous trap, and it reads that both of its effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads, target one ritual monster you control, special summon one Nouvellez token, which is a 1-star Dark Fiend with 50 attack and defense. And if you do, its level becomes that monster's. You can send this. The second effect reads, you can send this face-up card from your spell trap zone to the grave. Ritual summon one Nouvellez ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose soul levels exactly equal the level of the ritual monsters you ritual summon. So it's essentially similar to Earth Chant, where it has to be exact, which is a bit of a downfall. Which is a bit of a downfall for the whole deck, but what's cool about this is that if you were to summon, let's say you're able to summon out, I'll say Beg Griller, okay? You would have to use either Barilla Bayaz de Nouvelles mixed with Confit and Politis, or you have to use Hungry Burger, which I think Hungry Burger is a 6, isn't it? Yeah. Or you can use Hungry Burger as a way to summon Beg Grillers, which is pretty crazy. And now for the last new card, it is known as Recette de Speciale Chef's Specialty Recipe, which is a counter trap that reads, you can only use which reads that both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated and you control a Nouvellez ritual monster, negate the activation, and then if you control a monster special summoned by a Nouvellez monster effect, you can destroy that card. The second effect reads, if you special summon Hungry Burger, you can banish the card from your grave, tribute all monsters your opponent controls. Basically, it's a solemn judgment Regeki. That's all it is. Not much else to say about that. But the question is, what are the reprints that they're going to be with this archetype? Well, as the name suggests, with Hungry Burger is getting a reprint. I believe this is the first time in, 15 years, I think, that's getting reprinted? If I remember. I could be wrong. I think that's the case, but that's pretty nuts. So Hungry Burger and Hamburger Recipe are gonna be the first 2 reprints. But there is another one that we just found out is gonna be reprinted in the set. Wild Survivors, and it's known as Pre-Preparation of Rites, which pre-prep is actually not too bad. The only downside is that I think it's basically Manju, where you can add one or the other, which is a bit of a downside, but still it's not too bad. But all in all, this is actually a pretty cool But still, this is actually kind of cool, but it's kind of funny as well because of the fact that this is the first, I believe this is like the first time ever that we're getting an archetype based on food. That wasn't just Hungry Burger. Like, that's hilarious. But that brings me to the question of the day, which is this: what are you guys' thoughts on the Nouvellez archetype? And will this deck be the new meta? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more videos like this in the future, which gets posted every Tuesday and sometimes on Wednesdays and weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.